I know this is going to sound harsh, but I know a lot of people know about the situation with Charlize Theron and how she's been letting her alleged son dress up like a girl, and now she's come out and confirmed that he's supposed to be transgender, allegedly. 8-year-old boy, you know, what is he even supposed to know about that? Now, obviously, we all have a lot of questions about this female. She is one of these so-called white South Africans. She's a European foreigner and illegal immigrant who ended up in South Africa illegally, just like her parents and all of the rest of her people, and they need to go back to where they came from, back in Europe, because they don't belong in the land. And she grew up during the period of apartheid South Africa. So rightfully so, I understand why people wouldn't trust her. But I was thinking about this, and something made me think, you know, where did she adopt this boy from? Because we know in a lot of situations, people who have money, they tend to, especially Westerners, they tend to adopt children in other countries as opposed to Western countries, because the procedure is supposed to be easier and cheaper, and they have the means to fly overseas to adopt children. I mean, basically to buy children, even though you spend money in the Western world as well to get an adopted child. So she adopted Jackson in South Africa, the same country where she grew up in. So from a tribe of ADOS standpoint, I'm going to say this. While we should be concerned, and while obviously this is an issue for us with the feminization of Afro men and the making Afro women more masculine, at the end of the day, he is a South African boy. I don't know if she had displayed anything in the past that would be of questionable behavior, but at the end of the day, it was the authorities of South Africa who allowed her to adopt him. She adopted him back in 2012. This isn't, oh, she adopted him back in the time of apartheid South Africa. She adopted him recently, in recent times when you know, the indigenous Africans are supposed to be in control of their country. Now I know they're dealing with their problems and their issues. They have corruption going on with the ANC and throughout their country, and many countries have corruption, including Western countries and the United States. They just dress it up in a three-piece suit. And I get it. The people of Azania or South Africa have far more issues to worry about than what's going on in the household of Charlize Theron. But they allowed this European outsider to adopt one of their children. I'm not sure the girl that she has, the actual legitimate girl who's younger, I'm not sure she was also adopted in South Africa. But they allowed her to adopt a child from them once and maybe twice. Okay? And like I say, I don't know if she displayed any questionable behaviors before other than her typical Hollywood, weird, left-wing ideology and left-wing mindset and the stances that she takes on a number of issues. But they let her adopt this boy, and then this is how he turns out. So from a tribe of ADOS standpoint, I'm going to have to say that ultimately, while we can speak up about this, and while this should be an issue and alarming to us, ultimately, this is something for the people of Azania or South Africa to handle, because this is their child. I don't know what's the circumstance of what happened to his biological family, his biological parents, the state, as far as giving children over to foster homes and adopted parents, how this situation worked out. But we should not take on this fight as far as doing most of the heavy lifting of fighting for this child. Even though she's living in the United States, while she also still maintains her South African citizenship, so dual citizenship. This is for the South African or the Azanian government, I feel, to take on this issue if they really want to take it on, since they allowed her to adopt him in the first place. I don't know if she's going to be doing any more movies anytime soon. She's in her 40s, and you know what, a lot of these actresses, particularly the Gentile Japheth actresses, you know, when they get up there in age, they tend not to get too many more roles. So I don't know if she's going to be in any more movies anymore, particularly big time movies. As a community, as a people, as a tribe, as a nation, we certainly shouldn't support financially or any otherwise anything that she ever does. We should completely turn our back on her and not give her any support whatsoever, because I don't think that she is someone who can be trusted. But when it comes to really like fighting hardcore for this issue, for her son, who is a boy, not a girl, we shouldn't take up that fight, because I have not really heard too many Africans, South Africans really speak up about this. I haven't heard, obviously, the government speak up about this. Like I said, they have more things to worry about, getting their land back, getting those foreigners, the Europeans, as well as other groups, Arabs, Chinese, Indians, out of their country, especially those who mistreat the indigenous people of Azania. I know they have far more bigger issues to worry about. But if anyone needs to do the heavy lifting or the bulk of the work to take on this fight as far as what she's doing to her son, it should be to the Azanian people, not us, not ADOS, not ADOS. Even though she's living in this country, even though the United States government gave her citizenship and naturalized her as a citizen back in 2007, this is a fight for the people of Azania. We can speak out about it. We can put out a statement. We can call her out. We can obviously communicate our stance to this issue, as well as having Japheth Gentiles, adopt our children, Afro children in general, whether they're ADOS or something else. But the biggest fight for this should be for Azania, especially if this young man has surviving biological relatives or parents who are still alive, even if they signed away their custody over to her. They should be fighting for this the most, not us. We have far more many children who are going through issues in our country who are ADOS, who are ADOS, who are our own. There's children all over the world, whether they're Afro descent, whether they're of the diaspora or not. There's a lot of children over the world suffering because of poverty, marginalization, being victimized. But we have issues in our community also, and we have issues with our children. 72% of our children are born outside of wedlock. Okay? That's one huge bad statistic we have going on in our community. We need to focus on that more so than what we need to focus on what's going on in the household of Charlize Theron. So I know some people may not like this, it may sound cold-blooded, but you have to have a protocol, you have to draw a line in the sand, and you have to prioritize what fights you're going to fight, or in what order you're going to fight those fights. You're going to have to set priorities. And the children of ADOS, ADOS, who are at risk, who are being raised in perilous situations, who are disenfranchised and disadvantaged, right now, that is a greater priority to me than what's going on with young Jackson. I sympathize, I feel for the young brother. I would have hated to have had to grown up in a situation like that, being raised by this witch, this Afrikaans, European descent witch. She is a witch. casting spells and allowing this to happen. But we've got to worry about our own children first. We have to worry about our own people first. Then after that, we can reach out and take on maybe other issues that's going on inside of the diaspora as well. But the people of Azania need to get their situation together, and they need to be the main ones taking this on, not us. Whether they live in the United States or if they live back over on the continent. The one thing that I would urge for the family to do, ADOS, ADOS, the diaspora at large, and just all people in the faith at large, Gentiles included, all of the nations. I would want for you to pray for this young man. Hopefully send the Spirit of the Lord to give him discernment even as a young man, to break the spells of this witchcraft and the sorcery that this witch and the rest of these weirdos in Hellyweird are casting when they do the things that they do. Okay? Hope that the Spirit of the Lord will come into that house and make this young man see that he is a boy and he should not be walking around being effeminate, and also that that young daughter that she has as well doesn't grow up with any issues. You know, pray for the children. And as the Bible says, you know, you can't really pray for people you don't know what's going on with their situation. So when it comes to Charlize Theron, she's 43 years old, she's an adult, she should know better, and we know she has these crazy, pervasive, far left-wing liberal mindset. Okay? So I'm not going to pray for her because I don't know what's going on with her situation. She might be one of these Hollywood devil worshippers. Okay? She won an Oscar, so she probably did sell her soul to win that Oscar in that sick movie that she came up with, that she did, where she was playing some lesbian serial killer, some program. I don't know. So I'm not gonna pray for her because I don't know what's going on with her situation, and we know where her mindset is at. We know where her worldview is at, because she's one of these far left-wing, crazy, libtard progressives. But for those children growing up in that house, they're innocent. They're still under the age of accountability. They maybe don't know any better. And when you have these devils in Hollywood that cast spells and do sorcery and do black magic, you don't know what impact it could be having on these children, especially when they don't have a righteous covering over them in proper parents. She is not a real parent to these children. She is illegitimate. She is unfit, you know, and it's not because she's a European, it's because she's a witch and she's a devil. Okay, that's why. She's one of these Hollyweird, Hellyweird devils and a witch. And she probably does worship the Hasatan. Okay, so pray for the children, pray for young Jackson. But to the people of South Africa, you need to take this on. This is one of your own. This is one of your children, and you let this happen because you gave this witch custody over one of your own. You know, you need to take your land back, but you also need to get your children out from the enemy. This is your enemy.